You've probably met that one person who speaks with total confidence, even when they have no idea what they're talking about. They argue, explain, and insist they're right, while the people who actually know the topic sit quietly, doubting themselves. It's not arrogance, it's psychology. It's called the Dunning-Kruger Effect, and it explains why the less people know, the more certain they often feel. But this effect doesn't just expose others, it quietly operates inside us too. In this video, we'll uncover the science behind it, how it shapes our confidence, our decisions, and even society, and how to escape it without losing your self-belief. In 1999, two psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, ran a series of fascinating experiments. They tested people on logic, grammar, and humor, then asked each participant to estimate how well they performed. Here's what they found. People who performed poorly consistently overestimated their ability, and the most skilled participants, ironically, underestimated themselves. That gap between confidence and competence became known as the Dunning-Kruger Effect, a cognitive bias that affects everyone every day. When you lack knowledge in a field, you also lack the awareness to see how much you don't know. That's what makes ignorance so convincing. It hides itself. The less you know, the simpler everything seems. You think this isn't that hard, because you haven't yet discovered the complexity behind it. That's why beginners often sound more confident than experts. They're seeing the surface, not the structure. Psychology describes learning as 4 stages. 1. Unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. 2. Conscious incompetence. You realize you're not good yet. 3. Conscious competence. You can perform, but with effort. 4. Unconscious competence. You master it effortlessly. The Dunning-Kruger effect lives in the first stage, where confidence peaks and awareness is at its lowest. True learning begins only when you enter the second stage, when you realize how little you truly know. Smart people often second-guess their knowledge, not because they're weak, but because they understand the limits of their understanding. They've explored enough to see the vastness of what remains unknown. That humility looks like uncertainty, but in reality, it's wisdom. Confidence built on awareness is quiet. Ignorance built on illusion is loud. Society rewards confidence, not accuracy. People who speak with conviction often get attention, trust, and influence, even when they're wrong. Meanwhile, those who speak carefully or cautiously are perceived as unsure, even when they're right. This imbalance shapes workplaces, politics, and social media, where certainty sells better than truth. In the age of the internet, the Dunning-Kruger effect has never been louder. Platforms reward bold opinions and hot takes, not nuance or depth. People can now broadcast confidence to millions, and confidence looks convincing, especially when you don't have time to fact-check. The result? We start mistaking volume for value. When people experience early success in something, a few wins, a bit of praise, they start believing they've mastered it. That premature confidence can stop growth completely. You stop learning because you start assuming, and the moment you stop learning, you start declining. You just don't notice it yet. Overconfidence isn't harmless. It creates real damage. Leaders make poor decisions. Teams ignore warnings. People take risks they don't understand. When confidence outgrows competence, failure becomes inevitable. It's just delayed. Experts sound less certain because they've faced complexity. They know that truth is layered, that every answer opens more questions. That's why real expertise feels humble, not because it's unsure, but because it's aware. It's not a lack of confidence, it's a respect for truth. It's uncomfortable to admit, but we've all been there, convinced we understood something only to later realize how wrong we were. The key is self-awareness. Ask yourself, do I actually understand this, or do I just feel confident about it? Have I tested my knowledge, or am I just repeating what I heard? The goal isn't to doubt yourself constantly, it's to balance confidence with curiosity. Healthy confidence comes from knowing two truths. One, you've learned a lot. Two, there's still more to learn. That mindset keeps you open, humble enough to listen, strong enough to lead. The best communicators are not the loudest, they're the ones still learning while they speak. Escaping the Dunning-Kruger effect isn't about feeling dumb, it's about feeling real. It means valuing growth over ego and truth over being right. Confidence should expand with knowledge, not outgrow it. When you align the two, you stop pretending to know and start truly understanding. Today's world makes the Dunning-Kruger effect even louder. Social media gives everyone a microphone, and suddenly people who know a little start to sound like experts. It's not that they're trying to mislead others, it's that they don't realize how much they don't know. A quick Google search gives the illusion of mastery, but true understanding takes time, humility, and failure. This is the dangerous part. When confidence outgrows competence, people stop learning. They start believing they're already there. And when that happens, growth freezes. True wisdom begins not when you speak, but when you start listening again. Escaping this loop requires one simple thing: intellectual humility. You don't need to know everything, you just need to stay curious. The more you learn, the more you realize how vast the unknown truly is. Ask questions, seek feedback, challenge your own beliefs, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. That's how growth begins, not in comfort, but in the quiet acceptance that you still have a lot to learn. That's not weakness, that's power, because awareness is the first step to mastery. Here's the paradox. The smarter you become, the less you feel the need to prove it. The truly wise don't shout, they observe, they question, they listen. Because intelligence isn't about knowing everything, it's about recognizing how much more there is to know. So next time someone speaks with total certainty, pause, not to doubt them, but to remember, confidence is loud, wisdom is quiet.
Remember this: confidence can be loud, but wisdom speaks quietly. The more you truly learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. So stay curious, question yourself, and embrace humility. Because true intelligence isn't proving you're right, it's knowing there's always more to discover.